And again, as I predicted, we've got people within the British political establishment trying to sabotage the Brexit vote. This is not just coming from Brussels. In fact, many voices in Brussels have been more urgent to get this process done because they want to move on quickly. They've been totally embarrassed. But here in the UK, it's a different story. Here's another headline: Farage, Tory leavers already backsliding on referendum outcome, effectively selling out. UK Independence Party leader Nigel Farage, who of course gave the historic speech in front of the EU Parliament earlier today, has raised questions over Boris Johnson and leaders of the official Tory-led Vote Leave campaign, claiming that he believes they are backsliding over the referendum result. And of course, he's right. They've been largely absent in the 4 or 5 days since the referendum vote, suggesting that they're not even that keen on triggering that Article 50 of the Lisbon Treaty and getting this done, getting us out of the EU, following through on what the British people voted for. This is another thing I warned about. Many of the people who were spearheading that Vote Leave campaign were compromised. That's why they didn't even bring up the topic of immigration, which was one of the key issues which swung the vote in the end, until the last minute. So they're compromised. Now they're recommending all these people to lead the Conservative government who are globalists. Boris Johnson himself has been almost completely absent in the 4 or 5 days, since the referendum. Dan Hannan, MEP, who is a member of the official Leave campaign, and parts of the Tory establishment have long advocated a Leave light settlement as first exposed by Breitbart. Vote Leave boss Dominic Cumming is on record saying that he thinks a second referendum is a distinct possibility and believes the UK should not invoke Article 50 of the Lisbon Treaty. So the exact thing we voted for, the very people within the Vote Leave campaign right at the top are saying, well, maybe we'll just take our time on this. We'll drag our heels a little bit and maybe we won't invoke Article 50. No, that's not good enough. That's not what we voted for. So all that energy, all that vitriol that was directed towards the opposite side during this Brexit campaign, it looks like we're now going to have to switch that to the people who actually won the referendum. And again, this was all painfully predictable from the very beginning. Farage has got his unfavorable ratings in the UK. He's a divisive figure, but at least he's honest. And he's the one calling them out. And that's why we need to continue to hold their feet to the fire and continue to deride, debunk, discredit, and ridicule these idiot social justice warrior leftists who are out on the streets of London every day, basically calling for old white people to die or at least have their voting rights stripped from them, calling for democracy to be annulled. Absolutely shameful, given the fact that they're completely misinformed. I mean, you've seen the videos. As I said earlier, there's literally a video of a 22-year-old girl in London crying because she thinks that the UK leaving the EU means that the Nando's restaurant chain will be closing. And they had the temerity to call Vote Leave supporters, quote, low information. You saw the video up yesterday on Infowars.com of the young woman, the Vote Remain supporter, saying how upset she was that now the government wouldn't pay for her to travel to France because we're going to leave the EU. Saying that now everybody's opinions won't be the same because we're going to leave the EU. This is the level of information that these complete idiots are basing their opinions on. So we're going to continue to watch that